a masterclass on how to botch WrestleMania. The first thing you're gonna do is give us no storylines and give us the most boring episodes of Raw and Crackdown. So by the time WrestleMania season comes around, nobody actually cares. The second thing you're gonna do is overprice the tickets so the nosebleed seats cost as much as somebody's rent payment. The last thing you're gonna do is create matchups and keep switching them up and switching them up and switching them up and switching them up. Now let's all thank Triple H for showing us how to botch the biggest show of the year. Oh, Paul Levesque, what are you doing? I knew WrestleMania was in trouble when he was like, let's have Roman and Cody for the third time. No. Let's have Cody and Punk for WrestleMania. No. Let's have Punk and Roman for WrestleMania, bro. Make up your mind. Back in the day, we see WrestleMania. It was like the grandest stage of them all. It was time to book the biggest show of the year. 2026, Triple H look at WrestleMania like it's time to play musical chairs. If this guy switches up the WrestleMania card one more time, I'ma snap. Triple H's job's supposed to be the head of creative, right? So since WrestleMania is in Las Vegas, I think his new job should be the head of the casino dealers. Every time we look up, this guy is reshuffling the deck and switching up the cards. Now for some more bad news, there's reports that Braun Breaker is unfortunately not expected to return in time for WrestleMania, and that's a detriment to the storyline with him and Seth Rollins. Seth was already up in the air for WrestleMania. If Braun Breaker's not coming back, now it leaves a bunch of storylines all over the place. So what do we do with Seth Rollins if he can get healthy by WrestleMania? Have him go against what? Bronson Reed, Austin Theory? Give me a break. And what do we do about the Masked Man? Have him keep on showing up till, I don't know, SummerSlam? This is crazy. Now, I know I was out there joking about the name The Vision, but the more I think about it, it's actually a fitting name, y'all. They just made a mistake and spelled it wrong. It should have been spelled Division, Division, because they need to break this whole group and storyline up. Now, speaking on wrestlers getting hurt, we got Chelsea Green, another WWE superstar injured right before WrestleMania. Reports first said that it was a sprained ankle. Chelsea went on Instagram and said it's actually a broken ankle. Either way, I hope for a speedy recovery for her. Chelsea is one of those talents who work overtime on a character. Even if the creative sucks and books her like a jobber, she goes out of her way to go online, go on social media, pushing her storyline, adding layers, doing the work herself. Her being out is a big blow to the women's division, especially on Crackdown. Jade Cargill's a star, but she hasn't defended the title at all since she got it sometime last year. Lash Legend, she's a strong pickup, but she's paired with Nia Jax in a tag team. Michin is solid, but she's also sidelined. Bianca Belair injured. Naomi, she's out because she's pregnant. Chelsea Green was one of the few that was holding this division consistently. Now, if you ask me, when it comes to the women's division on Crackdown, creative might need to hit the supermarket and grab some salt, some pepper, maybe some garlic powder, maybe see if they got some Obey. Why you say that, Bobby Monsoon? Because the women's division is cooked. They need to get new talent like Jada Parker, Sol Ruka, Blake Monroe to the main roster ASAP. Now, Chelsea Green went on a podcast and said, we need to stop calling wrestlers jobbers just because they lose. And I don't know, I feel 50-50 about it because she got a point in one way, but the other way, she really don't. I'm going to show y'all this.
Weird culture surrounding wins and losses right now that I don't think really existed. Like, it's always existed maybe behind the scenes, but it's very strange. Fans are really hyper focused on, like, if you lose, you're a jobber. If you lose, you're being buried. And if you win, you're X, Y, and Z. Like, that's not true. Two people are in a match or more. One person has to lose. Only one person can win and one person can lose. Like, hello, people. It is facts. Like, facts. Just because someone is losing does not mean they're being buried, does not mean does not mean they're a jobber, does not mean, all the silly things that we say. It's like, it's entertainment. It is entertainment. Just because LeBron's team, sometimes loses, it does not make him a big loser. He's still the best.
Now, I said this on my live. Chelsea Green, I get what she's saying, but she's one of the few stars in WWE that actually applies to. She has horrible creative, then she gets booked like a jobber, but she's still over with the crowd. She's still over with her character. She actually can make it work. That's not the case most of the time. Most of the time, these dudes are getting booked like actual jobbers. You can't compare it to LeBron James. If LeBron James spent 2 to 3 years in WWE in an 82-game season and only won 1 or 2 games, he'll be a jobber too. Just like, I don't know, like Finn Balor. This dude has won 2 single matches in the last 3 years since 2023. That's crazy. And what does WWE do? Give him 2 title shots back to back. When he doesn't deserve it, none of this makes sense. Being a jobber goes beyond wins and losses. It's about how you're being presented. What storylines are you in? Is it compelling? How are you being handled? If you're weak in those areas, then on top of that, every time you turn around, you're eating L's. Yes, you will be labeled as a jobber. Now, as I just said, Finn Balor has a match with CM Punk. That's gonna be the most predictable match of all time, if you ask me. But believe it or not, I do see a small, itsy-bitsy window where Finn Balor can actually win. A lot of people saying, and even I thought it, man, he gotta bring the demon character back. Maybe he could finally beat CM Punk going to WrestleMania as champion. Yeah, that might work, but then again, nah, he's been buried too much. We need to do something bigger. We need to do something better. I'm thinking maybe we do the gimmick of where Finn Balor turns into, I don't know, the American Nightmare, CM Roman Brock Cena with a little bit of sprinkle of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just to have the slightest chance of beating CM Punk at the Elimination Chamber. Now, Royce Keys has had an interesting start to his WWE run. First, he takes a picture with the boss, Paul Levesque, and the guy doesn't even post it. So Royce Keys quickly turned to Royce Freeze because Triple H gave him the cold shoulder. Then he went from Royce Freeze to Royce Overseas because after he didn't show up on Raw on Crackdown, people thought the WWE staff left him in Saudi Arabia. Then he went from Royce Overseas to Royce G's, the G standing for Grandpa, after the news came out that he's 6 years older than what everybody thought. And now he's going from Royce G's to... Nah, I'm playing. I ain't think of a new last name for Royce Keys yet, and hopefully I don't, because honestly, I want bro to do good in WWE, man. But man, I was looking online and I seen that Royce Keys, he got called into the corporate office. I don't know if it was about the age thing and he had to bring his birth certificate in or something like that, but when he came into the office, to the corporate building, they had Royce Keys all over the Titantron there. I think that gave it a pretty cool look. Now, besides the age thing, you think they called him up to the office to talk about creative of him showing up at Raw, showing up at Crackdown, I don't know, showing up at NXT, but there's rumors that they called him up to the office to talk about showing up on Stephanie McMahon's podcast. So you mean to tell me there's this whole debate about Royce Keys' age? Is he 35? Is he 41? Is he 68? And WWE isn't trolling by putting him on a podcast talking about what's your story? What's next? You're going to put him on Cody Rhodes' podcast? What do you want to talk about? I don't know. There's nothing to talk about because WWE has yet to do anything with him since the Royal Rumble. Or like my man Derek Jones said in my chat yesterday, the perfect podcast Royce Keys need to be on is, I don't know, Undertaker, 6 feet under, because after Triple H is done with you, you're buried! This ad is brought to you because of the $3 billion of debt! T-shirt is here, man, exclusively on BobbyMonsoon.com, the $3 billion of debt! T-shirt, man. I want to thank everyone who purchased the Paul Levesque merchandise. I want to thank everyone watching and supporting the channel. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. The channel is nothing without you, man. BobbyMonsoon.com. $3 billion a debt t-shirt. Now back to the content. Dynamite started off with, it don't matter what Dynamite started off with. Oh, the Don Callis family. Kyle Fletcher once again reclaims the TNT Championship. This was fire, man. Kyle and Tommaso Ciampa, whatever you want to call them, put a masterclass of professional wrestling on. That's how you book somebody, right? That's how you book a transitional championship. What they did with Tommaso, dog. He came through as a psycho killer. New theme. Got the title from Mark Briscoe. Had a triple threat match. Roderick Strong, Claudio Castagnoli put on that match. Then defended the title against Kyle Fletcher and lost it against a formidable opponent. I'm not mad at that. People can get mad they only had the title 11, 12 days. I think he posted on Instagram, something like that. Bro, I'm not mad at that. Actually, the booking is fire if now we could get the Psycho Killer in, man. He just came into AEW. He needs a reason to kick that switch up of being a Psycho Killer. Losing the TNT title gave him that reason. I said it on my live. He already planted the story of how he came home to his family with the TNT Championship. He even named the TNT Championship, how close he was holding it even when he was walking to the ring. After the match, he's sitting on ringside with his hand in his face. He's distraught. The Psycho Killer has been activated. I can't wait to see Tommaso Ciampa on Demon Time the next few weeks. Kyle Fletcher, I don't care what company you're talking about. There is not anyone in that company that's on the level of Kyle Fletcher. I'm sorry. I'm putting him over anybody when it comes to in-ring, when it comes to ring psychology. I'm sorry. Bobby Monsoon might be a prisoner of the moment. I don't care. Kyle Fletcher, oh my God, this dude is so good in that ring. Whether he loses, whether he wins, when it's time to cut the promo after the match, he cut the promo on Mark Briscoe. He called out anybody in the locker room after the match that he'll defend it at the GS. Mark Briscoe come out. He said, all right, this game 7, we got to raise the stakes. Literally, raise the stakes. A ladder match. The GS is looking like, the GS might be better than WrestleMania. This is crazy, and I'm not even joking. This will be fire this weekend. I can't wait, man. Kenny Omega and Swerve Strickland starting off Dynamite was fire, man. Kenny Omega with the personal attacks. Reminder Swerve Strickland that time his house was on fire. Saying his man Hangman Adam Page did it. Swerve Strickland sending shots right back. Saying, man, I used to look up to you, dog. You was on the top of the mountain. By the time I got to the top of the mountain, you wasn't there. You was on a sideline. Kenny Omega winds up slapping Swerve Strickland. And unlike WWE, where a lot of the wrestlers get slapped and you do nothing about it, that didn't happen here. Swerve Strickland takes the jacket off. They get it cracking all over the building, man. They wind up going to around the entrance area. Man, Swerve Strickland tackles Kenny Omega off the stage. This was fire. Next week, Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland on Dynamite. This is gonna be fire. They're going to have a good match, man. Like I said this on my live, I want to see this turn into a blood feud. I was calling for Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page part 2. But I could get Swerve Strickland and Kenny Omega, but I want that same type of blood feud feel. I want Swerve Strickland to get back in that demonic bag, man. I want Kenny Omega to kick it up a few gears, man. Kick it back to the prime Kenny Omega. This should be fire. Next, you got the Death Riders going over to Don Callis family. But it didn't matter though. You know, Takeshita versus Jon Moxley at the GS this weekend, and I'm calling it right now. Takeshita gonna go over Jon Moxley. He's gonna win the championship. Then you're gonna have Okada and Takeshita at Revolution. That seems like it's the path, but with Tony Khan, you never know. There's so many curveballs Tony Khan been throwing lately. You don't know what to expect. Jon Moxley and Takeshita at the GS, they're going to put on a classic. Next, you got Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy going over Daniel Garcia and Clark Connors. Man, this is the thing about this match. I should just say Orange Cassidy beat them in a handicap match because Roderick Strong had enough of the games. He sits there, leaves Orange Cassidy left hanging high and dry, and he got beat up for a little bit. But then we had Darby villain coming out of nowhere, getting involved in the match. Orange Cassidy was able to win that match. Now, you got a lot of people thinking that Roderick Strong is going to turn on the conglomerate, but he never was really with the conglomerate, to be honest. Orange Cassidy should have seen this coming a mile away. I said this yesterday. I want to see Roderick Strong beat the crap out of Orange Cassidy, turn Orange Cassidy into orange juice, man, for real. Then you got Toni Storm cutting a nice promo. She said, man, you deserve to shave my head if you knock me out in front of my family, friends, and everybody in Australia. I thought that was fire, and it got me thinking, like, man, I could see Toni Storm pulling off the Amber Rose with the buzz cut, man, the blonde hair. I think that'd be fire. But I still got Willa Yuta getting his head shaved this weekend. And speaking of Willa Yuta, man, he was on Demon Time yesterday. Marina Shafir beats up Mina Shirakawa. Willa Yuta grabs the scissors, start cutting Mina Shirakawa hair. This was fire. Willa Yuta has real heat. Willa Yuta is a real heel, man. So I'm going to be interested in seeing who's going to get their hair cut this weekend. Next, you got a triple threat tag team match. The Young Bucks, the Rascals, and a surprise entrance from Private Party. We can't get the Street Profits in WWE, so we got Private Party, which was fire, man. Young Bucks go over in this match. This was a fire triple threat match. Now we got Young Bucks versus FTR. Man, this is gonna be a classic, man. I know we got Young Bucks and FTR about 100,000 times, but man, it's gonna be a fire match. I think Young Bucks gonna go over. I think this is their third or fourth time they're gonna win the AEW Tag Team Championship. So, man, I'm not mad at that at all. Now, the last match, you got the surprise of the night, Tekla going over Chris Statlander. Man, this was fire. Tekla finally getting the title, man. Chris Statlander losing, which was a complete shock to most people. Now it's Tekla time. The Toxic Spider, Sisters of Sin, they start jumping Chris Statlander after the match, and man, they had a fire match. That strap match is brutal, man. They took a lot of bumps, man. Chris Statlander bleeding like a pig, man, and this was a fire ending of Dynamite. This was one of my favorite Dynamite shows for sure, man, I've seen in a while. Let me know what y'all think about that. What do you think about the division, however you want to put it, man. Also, let me know what you think about WrestleMania, the switch up of the cars, Chelsea Green out, Braun Breaker out, Seth Rollins iffy. Hopefully nobody else gets injured for WrestleMania. Hopefully we get Bianca Belair or some people back, man. We'll see. Royce Keys. Will we get Royce Keys on Crackdown tomorrow? Or not, man. Let me know what y'all think about that. Also, AEW Dynamite, the Don Callis family. Man, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe, that ladder match might steal the show this weekend. I know it's Valentine's Day, y'all, but Bobby Monsoon doesn't care. The GS is happening. Grand Slam, a pay-per-view for free. And it's crazy how we're talking about a free pay-per-view on Saturday is going to be better than Royal Rumble and maybe even WrestleMania. I don't know. But let me know in the comments what you think about that. It's Bobby Monsoon 215. Like, comment, subscribe.